Healy. So whether it is dealing with the aches and pains that come with age, with weight issues, whatever it is, we've had tremendous results. And very recently, I received the MagHealy, and we are right now exploring a lot of it. And right now I'm running programs for harmony here. I'm also running programs for self-confidence because I was a little nervous that this was my first day of hosting it. So I'm going to introduce our speaker today, and it is a big honor for me. Our speaker for this evening is Mr. Sandip Dash. He is the founder of Academy of Unlimited Mind. He is a life coach in the areas of happiness, mindfulness, quantum consciousness, and spiritual growth. He is the designer of the unique and exceptional Happy Life Miracle Formula, the quantum consciousness formula for accessing superconscious mind, a set of scientific and simple techniques based on the science of meditation, science of happiness, cognitive neuroscience, emotional intelligence, and ancient Indian wisdom. Mr. Sandip has trained and coached more than 15,000 people in various workshops and coaching programs. How amazing is that? Prior to setting up the academy, he was head of academics of the Management Training Institute of SAIL. He is also an author of the books State of the Devas and Happy Life Miracle Formula. His journey with Healy started just 30 days ago, and he has already reached senior director. So I think this is going to be a very, very inspiring evening for all of us. And we are going to all learn a lot from him. I think we should all put our hands together and give a big round of applause for Mr. Sandip. So over to you, Mr. Sandip.
Thank you so much for this wonderful introduction. Thank you, Yonji, and it's been an honor being part of this wonderful community, and it's been a joy for connecting with such wonderful people with a lovely vibration. Apart from just the vibration of Healy, it's been the vibration of the community which has been, exciting me and energizing me. So great to be part of this fascinating journey, and again, so thankful to all of you here, including Vikas ji. He told that would you be taking a session? I said, why not? Thank you for that invitation. So thank you very much. This has been my passion area for a very long time. But to be honest, I never ever thought that a device that would be so intelligent to capture the mind and the body and the soul and whatnot. And it's been an amazing thing that's happened. And thanks everyone for getting me into this fabulous community. And thank you very much. Let's get on. I'll not take much of time. If it's okay, we'll take it further on the topic itself. And before that, I'll take this opportunity to thank everyone, including Vikashji, Pragyaji, who I think it was again a vibration which connected us. And everyone who is there, so many people have again joined me. And as you said, I do not know what to call a senior director, whatever. I feel privileged to have helped so many people. And I think it would be a divine gift for them. And that probably would take them further on this journey. So thank you, and let's get on. So would I be able to share my screen and move on this? If I can, yeah, let me check. Yeah, I think I can. Thanks. Just give me one moment to get my screen on. So before I really start, let me tell you, I am too new to this journey of Healy, and so many of you are already so much into the space. So it's an honor. Still, I'm learning, getting in that ocean of Healy. I never thought that this is such a deep area of exploration, but I'm really enjoying for last few months. It happened about 5 months ago when Pragyaji had actually reached out. For some reason, probably time was not appropriate for me to get in. So I took some time to get into this. And then finally November, when I joined and then got further into this, I could really sense that what is the depth I am into. So it's probably something I would, with all humility, I would say, I may give you something which many of you might have already been exposed to. So let's learn. I'm probably learning through this process of sharing. So let's get on to this. The science of Healy. That's what I'm going to take you through this journey. Many of you are already into this space. Am I audible? Am I clear? If you can just write, all good, AG. You can see me, you can hear my voice as well as you can see my screen on the, yeah, all good. Thank you, Pragyaji. I think all others are also getting it. I need few more responses. Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks. Audible, and you can see me as well, I believe. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you. So when we talk about the science of Healy, straight away, let's see what exactly are the areas we are going to look into. This beautiful device with the mobile connected. These are the things that probably I'll try to touch upon with whatever that I could explore into and learn from this. And this is where everything that happens. There is a cloud where so many data has been stored as an AI, and this cloud has grown in size because of more than probably it's almost like 17, 18 years into this space. So much of data has already been packed into that cloud. And it's not just any data, it's a data which is so valuable from more than 50 million people. I think 5 million people. So a huge, huge set of data which is there inside this. And then this cloud can be connected to this small device of your mobile. So you can get all the data access interconnected. And that mobile can get connected to this Healy through Bluetooth. So again, it can give the instructions to play, and then comes the real magic. It can heal you through various frequency, and not just that. The biggest challenge, in fact, for what we call objection in the terms of business or in marketing, is how this can heal people who are far away. Maybe somebody in, let's say, Dubai, or somebody in Australia, or somebody in office. How does that happen? So it's really a tricky question. Invariably, I attend so many classes of Pusp sir, and so many times I don't know how many times this question comes. How is it possible that it can heal somebody out there in another country, another state, or far away? Is it a possibility? That's what I also try to explore into primarily when I try to come for this session. Trust me, it's a very complex story. We'll try to understand in the most simple manner. So as we make things very simple, maybe we'll not get the intricacies of it, but definitely we'll appreciate that that's a possibility. So that's where we'll be focusing on to an extent. And can I move on? Is it clear so far what we're going to? If it's clear, just I can get a quick feedback. If it is crystal clear, CC means crystal clear. I keep asking people to write because I ensure they're there, they're not sleeping out. Sometimes science become boring as well. Thank you so much. Thanks for the responses. Great, wonderful. I can see so many responses coming in. Vikash ji already super fast as usual. Aditya ji, Pragya ji, and Krishna ji, and it's now long list. Can't read. Thank you. Moving on further. So when we move further on this, healing, colloquial. If we ask somebody, what is this healing? Okay, go and have medicine, go and have a surgery. That's what we know from right from childhood. Have medicine, have some surgery, and that's how healing happens. Healing is a pretty much probably, now we are talking much about healing, otherwise treatment. If you have some problem, you go and have a medicine, have a pill, or get a surgery done, that's it. And this has been super advanced. It comes super advanced. When we say super advanced, medical science, no doubt in today's era, is doing something which seems like magic. Cancer getting cured and this getting cured, so many drugs, so many kinds of things happening, vaccines coming, all these are happening. But if it is so, if we are so advanced, why is this? Pretty disturbing. Pretty much disturbing. This is not something I cooked up. This is something which a survey brings out, saying that 74% of the Indian people are stressed and 88% anxiety. It's kind of it's top up on stress. It's not isolated. It's a kind of top up of the pizza we top up. Similarly, it's a topped up thing which is creating anxiety. Now, why is this? What is this leading towards? Modern science, again, some people are prudent enough to see what is the reason for so many new diseases coming, so many new medicines coming, so many kinds of surgery, robotics, and so much. Why is it coming? Because the essential aspect, which I know everyone here is so much into this. I'm just probably, for the sake of repetition, I'm saying this. All of us here are already aware of this. The very source of it. The reason why we need a Healy is probably this. The very source is, this is what is causing every disturbance inside. It's causing so much of irregularities, so much of blockages, so much of internal chaos. We are carrying a packet of chaos, I would say. Many of us, we are actually a packet of chaos. Inside, turbulence going on, and we are keeping a facade of smiles and all. Inside, we do not know what is going on, and it's really, really eroding the entire system inside. But why is that? Is that what we are designed for? Absolutely no. I would agree. If you agree with me, just write, no, we are better. It's absolutely not that. We are not designed for this kind of a thing that will suffer from stress and will go through this kind of a journey of life. It's not what we are intended for, to be here. So moving on, healing is beyond physical. It's holistic. Agree, I'm sure most of you would agree with me here. Absolutely everyone who is here. I'm pretty sure. When you say healing, it's not that physical healing that there is a abscess, there is some kind of a wound which needs to be cut and set right, or there is some kind of a thing which you take a medicine and get cured. It's beyond physical. Now, when we say it's beyond physical, it's holistic. We will look at what is the science behind this. But before coming to science, we'll go back to the very ancient, traditional aspects of how the ancient, they knew. The ancient wisdom had all this repository of what we are, where we actually do things inside so that we can get holistic healing processes. So let's look at that. In the ancient times, I'll just refer to, in fact, many of the traditions, including the Chinese, including some of the Western traditions. They talk about the gross body for sure. Especially when we get into the Vedic era, we get into the Vedas, especially the Upanishadic aspects. They talk about the Stula Sharira, the physical body, which now the medical science is super, super excited about. How to cut some part, how to add some part, how to give you some medicine so that something will get removed. All physical, right? The gross body, the physical aspect of the body is what we say gross body. And Stula Sharira is the technical word in the Upanishads. Then they call about or talk about something called the subtle body. The subtle one is what we are very much interested in. I know there are so many pranic healers, there are so many Ho'oponopono practitioners, there are so many other practitioners like chakra meditation, the aura healers, the Akashic record, practitioners, so many are there. And all of us, we have some clue, some idea about this Shukshma Sharira, or the subtle body, the pranic body, the flow that happens inside. And that flow is not isolated. All of you would agree, those who are already been practicing, you are absolutely aware of this field. It's not just confined to this physical body. It's probably expansive. It enables that flow to happen inside, enables those things to get interconnected inside and connect to another dimension altogether. And when we say another dimension, not necessarily space, it can be beyond the realm of space even. So realm of time and space probably doesn't hold that much in the Shukshma Sharira. But another space, another Sharira, another aspect, which again, modern science beautifully has come out because some of the modern scientists, they chose to probably align themselves with those ancient philosophies to a large extent. And those are the quantum mechanics scientists. The third arena is called the causal body, or in the ancient wisdom, they would term it as the Karana Sharira. Karana is cause. The thing that causes something to happen. So when I see Healy, I really got zapped. I really got so much fascinated when I could see this small little device at least has the promise to get into all these three fields: the physical body, the subtle body, and the causal body. Causal body, we will understand as we get into the actual scientific term as per the quantum mechanics. And let me tell you where from I got all this. There is no great credit to me. Also, I've been very much fascinated by quantum sciences for very long. I've been reading, uh, of course, the not the equations, but definitely the concepts of quantum science, including following people like Fritjof Capra and Tao of physics and Werner Heisenberg and David Bohm and all those people's writings I do read. But trust me, these guys and every one of them, go to Pauli, go to Heisenberg, or whether it is Schrodinger or Niels Bohr, every one of them would somewhere, somehow, would quote the ancient philosophies of India. Go to Oppenheimer movie, you'll see there that he's talking about it because they have been inspired by this, the subtle body. And let me very categorically mention, it's not about the religious spirituality. It's about those ancient wisdom of deeper mental and spiritual fields they were very much inspired with. These are the gross body, physical body that all of us know, the subtle body, the flow that happens with such elegance, and the causal body, which actually creates that flow to happen, actually creates that space to move on, to make it meaningful and sensible. So we will look at these slowly and move with that as well. Am I making sense, or is it something that completely out of track? Please give me a quick feedback to let know. I'm pretty much new to this space, new to this community. I'd love to actually get little quick feedback about how is it going? Is it making sense? Perfect. Thank you. Amazing. Thank you. Lovely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your kind, wonderful words. Love you. Inspiring. I'm really feeling energized now. Apart from using Healy, still I'm there. Yeah. Your energy is also in, kind of great. Thank you for your wonderful comments out there. So these three bodies, we'll see what are they doing, and I'll now bring in some of the aspects. You'd be amazed to see the modern science. Some of the scientists are bold enough. When I say bold enough, I'm choosing this word very carefully. They have to be really courageous and bold to come up something which is creating a disruption in the traditional medical field, because every disruption can lead to violence. It has happened in the past. People have been thrown out of the mainstream medical sciences or other sciences the moment they choose to deviate from the traditional, from that, what we call that vast, giant market driven economy of pharmaceutical industry. So the moment it happens, there is a lot of challenge. But in spite of it, there are people who have the courage to come out of it. Let's quickly look at a few of the examples. And one of the examples you just saw, Swamiji narrating how through frequencies we are going to heal people. And what he was saying, 2050, by that time, we will have that technology. But amazingly, much before that, almost 40 years preceding that, almost 35, 40 years preceding that, we all have a device. And it's not just a device in its nascent stage, it's fairly in an advanced stage, because it has a huge advantage of using the artificial intelligence to learn faster and bringing things which we would have thought probably 30 years since. So it's a blessing. We are probably in a time on this planet. We should feel grateful, express our gratitude to the universe for having given us this opportunity to go along with this wonderful flow. So the first one, I would give an amazing example of water. All of us, we know we are 70% water. And this gentleman from Japan, Masaru Emoto, he conducted few wonderful experiments. The experiments with water, how emotions affect water. You can Google and search, and you'll find a lot of criticism. And it is very much expected, because people would start, protecting their own field and own territory because it's intruding into their life. If water starts healing, then the problem with the pharmaceutical industry again, it is there. So I'm not against the pharmaceutical industry. I'm not against medicine. My father was a doctor. My son is a doctor. So both way, I love the medical profession, but it should be used appropriately when it is required in the gross body. Neglecting the other two bodies and then creating a disease to solve the problem, that's what not we are here for. Let's first take care of things so that the diseases will not emerge, so that we need the medical science to come in and do something for us. Why not we take that preventive thing? So when we come to this fabulous, fascinating kind of the experiment of Masaru Emoto, what Masaru Emoto did is he started speaking, or he started expressing his emotion, not he, his team would express emotion before water. And then some of them will be shouting and scolding and screaming at water with all the filthy languages. And some of them would actually say, wow, I love you, water. Some of them say, oh, water, I'm so grateful that you are with me. Some of them would say, you are worse, you are a bad water. And somebody would say, looking at you, I'm feeling depressed. So they started giving some kind of emotional flow to water in their lab, and then they crystallized it by bringing them to certain temperature and studied the molecular structure of this water. Can you see this? Can you see this? This is what they finally found out in the electron microscope, the structures of water molecule in the arrangement, where when we look at the polluted water before prayer, you can see what it is. Evil. Somebody said, water, you are evil. You fool. See the kind of chaos that is there inside the water. You make me sick. Somebody says, you are truth. Thank you. I love you. You are eternal. Now, the moment we change our frequency, the moment we change our emotion, the frequency impacts. Frequency also changes. One of the most and crucial aspects of why frequency actually heals. We talk about frequency heals. One of the first objection comes, frequency, how does it heal? We need nutrients, we need this, we need that, we need flow to happen, we need clogging to go out, we need those kind of blockages to get vanished. But frequencies can do all those things. There can be magical things happening through frequencies. And of course, you people are far more literate, many of you are, who are there for quite some time on the space of frequency, who have been using it, experiencing and doing it. I've been pretty much nascent, infant in that space, just a month old. But nevertheless, the frequency has its power to transform the water inside. 70%. In fact, not just 70%, it carries information. Water inside it creates that flow inside. Our entire internal system is carried through the water. And if that water is this, not just the water is creating a problem, it is also creating problems in all other organs out there. So if you can see, we actually are there because of water, and our emotionality is also going to change the internal structure of the water, and that can change so many things inside. So Healy, as we all know, it has that ability to change that frequency, change the very structural aspect of those molecules inside us. Yeah. Is it amazing? When I saw Emoto, of course, I saw it long back. You can go and search for videos and see this Emoto's experiments and how it's been done, how it has been scuttled, how it has been forcefully now stopped to a large extent. But it is amazing. It is creating magical things. Another, in fact, this is much more scientific, although they were very cautious. Dr. Kabat-Zinn and Richard Davidson, they were working on the mindfulness processes. John Kabat-Zinn, who created something called the mindfulness-based stress reduction therapy, and he is healing people who are in terminal diseases. He is taking pain out of their life. He is changing their internal system. Why I have brought both of their names here? John Kabat-Zinn and Richard Davidson. Some of you might love to read a book called The Science of Meditation by Richard Davidson and Daniel Goleman. It's a fabulous book where they talk about how they actually learned how the meditative practices of the ancient time and the sounds that we use as mantras and other things, how they change the very internal dynamics and the frequency in the body. And frequency then changes the internal state and changes our core and soul. So these two guys try to work with these frequency, applying those sounds and practices to corporate executives, and they found significant results. It actually changed not just their inner experience of life, it also changed their output, their productivity, their career growth, their health, their relationships, many other things. And more importantly, their immunity improved significantly. Immunity improved significantly just by practicing the meditative practices. Another very interesting thing, this lady, Elizabeth Blackburn, got a Nobel Prize in 2009. And she got it because of a reason. All of us were very interested for that. It's about aging process. How and why we age. Our aging process happens because there is something called the telomeres, which are the ends of the chromosome, and shortening of the telomeres leads to biological aging. And that's how she was one of the discoverers of telomerase, which is telomeres, the enzyme that creates or that helps telomeres to sustain and grow. But later on, she got into again this space. After getting Nobel Prize, she also conducted so many experiments, how by changing our internal rhythm, removing stress from within, we can significantly see the shortening of the telomeres at every cell division. It reduces significantly. That means if we can bring that internal rhythm, if you can change the internal frequency, our aging process naturally comes down. That means the speed of aging comes down. No wonder, as you say, people using this, they say that after using for 15 days, 20 days, 30 days, a month, or 2 months, I feel like I'm half my age. The reason being very simple. The frequency which is given to those telomeres, the ends of the chromosome, the moment it changes, naturally the shortening process change. Why? We'll come to that little later. We will talk about something called the information field and how vibrations, they affect the information field. But I'd love to share a few of the other scientists, although they have now been branded as non-scientists, as a different league altogether. Bruce Lifton, who is a genetic scientist, works on epigenetics. Many of you know, I'm sure you would be knowing this name, the biology of belief, where he talks about how our genetic system, our gene expression changes the moment we change our internal environment. And how we change our internal environment? By changing our internal state of being. How we change that? By changing our internal rhythm and frequency. So it's about changing that frequency. That's the only thing. When we meditate, we change our frequency. And when we are not meditating using Healy, we are changing our frequency as well. So here, the biology of belief talks about when we change and we see that our belief system is not that I'm limiting, not that I cannot do, not that I don't have money, not that I cannot grow. If that is that, then we are that. If we say I am abundant, I am being blessed, I'm receiving all the grace of universe every moment, I am absolutely free of disease, I am healthy, I'm fit, I'm loving, I'm kind. All these things also get manifested at the cellular level. And he says he did extensive research on people who had cancer-causing genes, but it did not get expressed. And why? Because their state of mind was different from those who had those genes, but their mindset was more toxic. So it's all about changing that frequency within. And that's a possibility. Either you do the sadhanas for years together, or what I could see in the little uses in the last 30 odd days, Healy also can give you that kind of internal state of being to bring that rhythm, to get to that vibration mode where your genes start saying, I'm loving, I'm kind, I'm connected, I am abundant. So give that frequency to the deepest level of your cell, the cellular level. When it changes, the integrated being also change. You Are the Placebo is a fabulous, fantastic, interesting book where he says placebo is the effect where we, every medical professional would know this placebo effect, where we get, if I think I'm getting cured, I'll get cured. Yeah. So that's placebo effect. And so Dr. Joe Dispenza, who healed himself. In fact, everyone said he would die because of a horrific accident that he had met with in his 20s. But later on, he could heal himself just within 6 months' time, and completely going against the prognosis and the diagnosis and the what do you say, the expectation and thoughts of the doctors. So he got not just survived, he could thrive. Similarly, the last book, it's one of my favorites, where Dr. Candice Pert, he wrote this book on molecules of emotion, how she says that your emotional state actually is changing the internal state. The molecules like endorphin, like oxytocin, like um, uh, dopamine or serotonin, how they actually play internally, and they can completely change the internal state of being of yours. And it needs, again, a kind of rhythm and frequency within. So all these are scientific processes. It's no more when people say that, how is it possible that vibration can do all these things? Actually, vibration does it. We do it in different modes, whether you are taking medicine, you are taking yoga or meditation, or using healing. It's all about that ultimate, deepest level of your being is vibration. I think here people are certainly and certainly they understand no, because of that reason you are here. And this is this is the biggest challenge to handle, biggest objection to handle. When people say remote healing, that is something kind of weird. It cannot be a possibility. You are saying remote, how is it? How is it possible? So remote healing, to be honest, I was also as skeptic. I should not blame people, because I was thinking, how is it possible? What is the modality? How do you actually logically justify that somebody staying far off somewhere in the other continent and saying healing from here? I'm so blessed to have with one of the wonderful pranic healers, Mr. Satyam Boniji, as part of my team, and he has been healing hundreds of thousands of people and healing from a distance. So I was a little skeptic earlier, but when I actually got into the scientific space, I was not just convinced, and I know it is a reality as real as gravity. So when Newton did not come up with gravity, also the fruits were falling. But now we know why is it falling. Similarly, the remote healing has been happening for ages. It's not today's concept. Everyone, in fact, ancient times it has been happening. Maybe scientifically we are seeing it. We have some kind of theory coming up. Then some people are there to suppress, push it back to the somewhere, so that people do not see. Because once it happens, there is a big economic crisis in an industry, huge industry. So those will happen, but still there is a definitive progress in this space where remote healing actually is scientific. So let's look at this. I'm just coming up with a few quick scientific research studies done in the space of remote healing, where in 1992-95, this institute, they conducted so many. Am I on time? Can you please give me a quick time? Yeah, I can see.
Absolutely, sir. You can please go ahead. It's amazing. I think
Okay,
people are
thank you,
enjoying.
thank you, thank you so much. So it's during this time when Hot Math Institute actually they worked on the human DNA, and it was isolated in glass beakers and then exposed to coherent emotion by groups of five, right? Five people would sit and they will be giving it, blessing it, giving some kind of meditative blessing to this. And the result were absolutely amazing. The result were nothing short of astonishing, as it says, without physically touching the DNA, they were actually directing a positive intention of the DNA and influence the DNA in the beaker. They were not touching it. They're at this distance from that. And different kind of intentions were directed towards the DNA, and it led to that kind of changes or expression of the DNA or the double helix. It was unwinding, changing, and that was astonishing. It's scientific research. Then again, another similar, there are many, in fact, hundreds. If you go and search, I was doing a little search, dig out from different, including scientific journals. There are so many out there. Another US Army study, which say the human DNA was measured and the sample was collected by volunteer, another room at a distance, and then they were designed, different pictures were shown, and the DNA sample was monitored during that time. Strong electrical discharge were monitored, both volunteer cell as well as DNA sample in another room. And then actually they kept it far off, 350 miles away. What we are talking about today is, how is it possible? It is spooky, it's weird. Now see, even the US Army has checked it. It was working even when they were separated by a distance of 350 miles. Yeah. So the same result were seen. And why is it seen? What's the science behind it? We'll see that. And this was again a double-blind experiment which was conducted for healing people. In fact, this was not just the one experiment. I was going through, there are hundreds of experiments, including scientific journals. And in every, they call it, the last one is the conclusion and discussion. They're saying, we know this is working. Absolutely, there is not an iota of doubt that when we are giving distance healing, somehow it is working. But how is it working? We do not have an answer to. It is working for sure, and it is statistically significant, so we cannot just refute that if somebody is doing Reiki healing, pranic healing, chakra healing, aura healing, Akashic methods, whatever. When we are doing that, it is working for sure. Plain prayer, we are just praying for someone. They did normal praying for people who were in hospitals. They were having different set of groups in ICU and CCU, as they would call it, coronary care units, and prayers from a distance. And when they found the control group and the other group, it was statistically significant, not just one, there are hundreds of such experiments. Now they are trying to figure out why, how is it happening? What is it that is leading to such kind of outcomes which cannot be explained? So is there any scientific explanation? There are, but we are just quickly going in there. One, they term it, what Healy is talking about is a bioenergetic field. What is this bioenergetic field? If you go to the ancient term of the Sukshma Sharira, whether you talk about the Chinese meridian, the chakra system, the aura, that means there is some flow which is happening. Gross body is the physical body that all of us we have. Let's see it from a very commonsensical point of view. A dead body and a body, a human being, yeah, a live human being. What is the difference? Except for that one is absolutely inert. The one thing that is going on inside is something. Let's term it as that prana or chi or ki, whatever. So that is flowing. That thing is there. There is no denial of the fact that there is a difference. And this probably doesn't have a color, doesn't have anything that our sense can perceive. So when we say, in fact, many people ask, what is this difference between the gross body and the subtle body has been said, given there? Simple difference. Whatever you cannot perceive through your sensory apparatus, you cannot see. आप देख नहीं सकते हो. You cannot touch it. You cannot even, you cannot hear it. So that is what we term as the subtle body. It is beyond your sensory apparatus. There are so many things, including your mind. In fact, if you go to the Mandukya Upanishad, it talks about 19 things. Ekanavinsati mukha. That means it is 19 different aspects, which we can term as those antakarana, or as term those as the subtle body, which our senses cannot perceive. But through bringing our mind to that level of subtlety, we definitely can. That's precisely what you are. Most of you are there. The mind comes to that subtlety where you can touch the subtle body. And the subtle body does not require space. It's not about the space difference. It's about the subtle body is in a different dimension altogether. Whether it is here, whether there, it can go anywhere. So when we are using or taking our mind to that subtlety, we can touch the subtle body. We can feel it taking our mind to that sharpness, to that level, we can touch it. So there are so many practices given in the ancient time. But here we don't need to do that, because Healy has already been given that aspect of going to that space of subtle body through frequency and vibrations. Why is it so deep? Why is it subtle? Because it is in the form of that frequency and vibration, which we cannot see, touch, feel, or we can taste or smell them. So that's why we call them subtle, beyond our sensory organs. But definitely for certain reasons, we can, with our sadhana, we can go there, or with Healy, we can, I call it, you delegate it to Healy. So don't do it. Now, delegation is the best thing that we can do. When you cannot do it, delegate it to Healy. So let's delegate it to Healy, because it takes probably a few lifetimes to get to that level when we come and delve into that space of the subtle body. And yes, some of us we can. No, of course, if you can, nothing like that. You get to another dimension. So next is the information space. And here it will be the Karana Sharira I'll be talking about. Karana Sharira means the one that causes, the causality of it. And causality will just quickly go there and not get into science much. I'll just give you. So it says the information field, it cannot be measured because it's not even energy. It's vacuum. In fact, if you go to different experiments, if you go to study David to Bohm or to Heisenberg uncertainty principle, or to Schrodinger's equation, or Paul Dirac, if you go to their explanation of what is this information field, there is a fundamental rule of the quantum mechanics, is the law of conservation of information, which is even more robust compared to law of conservation of energy. Because law of conservation of energy, it works within a closed field. And they presume the universe is a closed system. So closed system. Law of conservation of energy is, it holds good in a closed system, whereas law of information or law of conservation of information even doesn't need that. It's just the law of conservation of information. We'll talk about that quickly, and then we'll move on. I know this is, I'm so sorry if it is overwhelming. And let me tell you, there is a space, absolute vacuum. There is no energy. In physics, vacuum means zero state energy. Energy nahi hai. Na to udhar heat hai, na kuch hai. It's plain vacuum. If you go back to before the Big Bang, it was that zero state. So what happened at before Big Bang? We'll just take an experimental point where information is there. They say information is there, Karana is there, the causality is there. What is the causality? The causality from nowhere can create two particles. But one thing is, the particles should have opposite energy. If one is negative, one has to be positive. So electron, and this is not proton, this is positron. Electron, the anti-particle is called, or antimatter is called positron. So electron and positron, weight is same, only the charge is different, and it is opposite in every respect. If you add them, it will annihilate and again go back to zero state. If you keep them separately, the two things have been created. Who created? The causality has created. The Karana Sharira has created. The Karana space has created it. So that space is where even energy starts. The negative and the positive and the spin. We talk about the quantum entanglement. Actually, I discussed this because of this reason. What is quantum entanglement? These two things, even if you separate them by light years, as per the quantum, I think this has been Pauli or Dirac, I'm not exactly remembering who brought this figure. Even if they are at two ends of the universe, if you change anything in the E, P will change instantaneously, which actually Einstein never agreed for a very long time, till 1952. He said, God doesn't play dice. It has to be something concrete. This is weird. This is spooky. So if you change the electron here, the positron instantaneously, faster than light, it will change. That's what they call the quantum entanglement. And now quantum entanglement is a reality. We are seeing it every now and then. And when we are talking about Healy, when we are talking about the distance healing, what we are doing, we are entangling with an energy field. What is that energy field? Every human being has got a separate signature. Like we have a thumb impression. which is so distinct. Similarly, every human being, we have a distinct aura. Pranic healers, other aura healers, they absolutely know, they can study it, how every human being, as my face is different, that I can see because it's Sthula Sharira. But I have to have that subtlety to see that even my Sukshma Sharira is a different thing. And that's different from another Sukshma Sharira. If I capture that Sukshma Sharira, then I can entangle with it. That's precisely what we're doing. When we are talking about, I was going through, in fact, let me tell you where from I got some of the inputs from here. I have gone through the Healy Academy, wonderfully explained. Although because of my little inclination earlier, I could relate to some of the quantum things very closely and easily. But it is about that. When I change something here, somebody in Australia, somebody in America, somebody in Dubai, somebody in Africa, instantaneously that changes because we are not in the gross world. We are in the information world. Information world doesn't have a notion called distance. It's like saying smell. If I start, judging smell by color, it's ridiculous, right? Similarly, judging information distance by distance is ridiculous. Information field, it's a different dimension, and there is no concept of distance out there. So, in fact, one electron, as Heisenberg would say, one electron exists here on Earth and also in Andromeda galaxy because it can come out at any place. That's what was pretty weird because the field is there. If you want to see an electron in Andromeda galaxy, this electron also can appear there because in the information field, there is nothing called distance. So similarly here, we are talking about the information field, the causality of it, the Karana Sharira, the Karana or the causality space, which is the information space as per the modern scientific perspective. I think I should not take it any further. I know I'm I'm not only overwhelming you, I don't know whether I'm making sense or not taking you to this, but for sure, now I believe it will give you some kind of confidence, all of us, that yes, it works because it is not working on a space, not in a dimension where we are seeing the things when they are gross. We are talking about something which is subtle, something which is field of information. So that's where I thought I'll conclude. I hope I made some sense to some of you, and thank you. And thank you so much for, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Yuan. Yes, Yuan, you can go ahead.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sandip. I think that was amazingly informative, especially for lay people like us, because when we first started and came to know about remote healing, in fact, that was the first thing I tried with my sister in Australia, and it worked. Although we didn't understand it, we did it. We just followed everything that Vikas had told us. This is what you do. So I had my teammate in Portugal and my sister in Australia. So a lot of what you said made sense to lay people like us. So thank you so very much for a very, very informative session. And I'm going to hand it over to Vikas now, who's going to end the session for us and maybe make a few announcements. So thank you, Vikas. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, both of you, Yuan and Sandeep ji. It was such an amazing session. I think I was literally blown away by the simplicity you put together in your slides so that everybody could understand. I am not a scientist, I am not a quantum physicist, but I also understood something. I felt after watching your presentation, I just started remembering Marcus because he had a similar presentation in Bali, and I was sleeping at the back thinking that I am in the right hands with the right kind of people. No need to worry, just talk about healing, right? So those who are going to Vietnam, you are going to see a lot. So yes, over to Leena ji for the announcement for upcoming events. The 9th event, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, whatever we are having, and some little announcement, and also to ask to take this session further. If somebody has questions, he can allow people to ask question. Over to you, Leena ji.
Thank you, Sandeep ji. I should first thank you. Amazing, amazing, amazing. And what a work. I mean, it's 1 month you are in Healy. And what kind of knowledge you have grabbed in. Oh God. It looks like it's like a 1 year work you have done. Be an experienced person in frequency therapy. So amazing, and thank you so much for collating all this. And I mean, it requires a lot of preparation, and you have done that for us. So thank you so much. Totally grateful to you. And this session would be really grateful for, I feel, all our follow-ups also. And the way you took time, there are so many people, we are trying to tell them how Healy works, and they are taking time. You have very beautifully explained it. So this video would be going across to all our followers. So, okay, thank you, Sandip ji, your contribution to our life. I feel the announcements for tomorrow. We are having the goal setting session by Vikas ji, so please don't miss it. Night 9 o'clock. And that would be something amazing. You're going to hear what's coming up on 9th. 9th, we have a session. There is an event happening online. So online, IST India time, it will be night 11:30 a.m. So don't miss it. There are some amazing promotions coming up. So I just got a hint of it, but I am super excited. So after Vietnam, people are looking out for another trip. So be there on 9th. Don't miss it to know what's coming up. Healy will never disappoint us. It's always exciting. I was actually thinking that January first week I will relax, and then I'll go to Vietnam, then come back and then focus on work. But no, I mean, the news which is coming up, I can't sit even for a second. I'm so excited. I'm not able to sleep at night. I'm like, what to do? I mean, it's like bombarding. So January, February, March, I can only tell you, is crucial. If you work hard, if you can maximize, the rewards are just maximizing. Companies ready to give us, you can't even imagine. In your wildest imagination, the promotions which are coming up, it's too good, too good, too good. I can only give you the hint. So be there on 9th, and every day till 9th, please don't waste it, maximize it, because the news which will be announced on 9th, you will not regret of working hard. So that's coming up. So tomorrow night, 9 o'clock, be there so that we understand the
9:30.
business plan. Let
9:30.
all the
Energy 9:30.
9:30. 9:30. Okay. So 9:30,
And
be there. If anybody here who is not part of Healy, please be part of the community. We can travel together, and without sacrificing, without adjusting, without tolerating, there is happiness in your way. 2024 would be an amazing. I always say, like, 2024, ye dil mange more. So more of abundance, more of prosperity, more of serving, more of helping, more of healing, everything more. We can't even imagine. We don't have to struggle. So universe doesn't want us to struggle. So we can just be vibrating in high frequency and attract the best of the things in 2024. So be the part of the community. If anybody here is not part of Healy, make sure you connect with the person who has invited you and grab the details and the knowledge which is coming your way. So thank you so much. If anybody has any questions, you can raise your hand, and we are all there.
we can ask the questions in the chat box. You can ask your question in the chat box. We'll ask your question on behalf of you to the speaker. Also, there is an event on 9th, as Lina ji said. For that, you have to register by paying 20 euros. And the last day for 20 euro is today. From tomorrow, it is going to be 32 euros. So please do register immediately. You need to have an international debit or a credit card where dollar transactions or a euro transaction is permitted. If not, you can just go to your mobile banking app and allow foreign transactions. It will happen. So this event where we are going to see something very new coming up, some great news for all of us, and some amazing news for everybody around the world. And it is a world event where the world is gathering together. And this will be a virtual event, but very soon the world will be gathered together at some place, maybe Hawaii, maybe Switzerland, maybe Fiji. We don't know. Okay. So there is a question. There's a question. Can Healy be related to, oh my God, transulent? भाई इतना इंग्लिश तो मैंने भी नहीं पढ़ा. Right? Electrical nerve stimulation device. See, the answer to this question is, it is not a device which just works on electrical stimulation. It works on information field with frequencies. So yes, it uses microcurrent for the for the frequency to travel in our body directly. But it is not just an electrical nerve stimulation device. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah.
There are some questions on chat. Shall I ask?
Yes, yes. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Dr. Kavita Saman is asking, how can we select? And she's also asking plan details and pricings.
Okay.
Dr. Kavita Saman.
Dr. Kavita, please get in touch with the person who has invited you. We'll be more than happy to help you. You can also get in touch with us. You can drop your number in the chat box. Any one of us will get in touch with you, but it is better that you can directly get in touch with the person who has invited you. He'll be more than happy to help. Yeah. What is the next question, Rajan?
Sika Paul is asking, how long does the charge last?
Charge in the sense the
I think
device.
maybe the device. Probably.
Depends on how many programs are you using. If you are using the device on multiple people, see, I charge it once in 3 days or 2 days sometime. But if I am using it more number of programs, if I'm running blue app, pink app, then maybe twice, once in 2 days. That's what we can we do. Yeah.
Yeah. Joan sir asking how I can check I am paid, but how we check? I think for the ticket.
You have to check your email, Jevin sir. You can check your email and get in touch with Sheila ji. She will help you. Sheila ji or Leena ji, see, they will help you. That if you are paid, you would have received an email. Yeah. Next question.
He wants to ask something. Can we unmute him?
Yes, you can unmute yourself, sir.
20 I have paid, but I have not received anything information whether they have received or not.
No, check your email. You would have received. Everybody has received. Just check your email and check your bank statement whether it was deducted or not deducted. If deducted,
bank already deducted, but
then you would have received on your email. Check your email.
I think Indian amount is 1760. I think so. Something.
After adding GST, it comes around 1950.
I think it goes 1760 only.
Yeah, in your credit card, it will show you 1760, but in your
credit card.
Yeah, your debit card, it will show 1950 or 40, depending on the dollar rate. So the both charges are different.
Paid,
so your debit
credit
card.
Credit card.
Yes, yes. Credit card. The final rate will be displayed to you when your billing cycle or your final bill is generated. Because forex charges are not added in the credit card instantly. It is added after that billing cycle, when the billing cycle is complete. Yeah. So thank you.
If I paid for Paytm, then?
Sir, you have to check. You have to check whether Paytm was linked to a credit card or a debit card. Paytm, you cannot pay through Paytm. You'll have to use a credit card or a debit card.
Okay, total was 1919.
105040, depending on which card you have. What was the euro? What was the euro rate that day? It depends.
Citibank.
Yeah. Thank you so much, everybody, for being such a wonderful audience. Thank you, Leena ji. Thank you, Yuan. And thank you so much, Sandip ji. Can you just imagine a person who just started with Healy, became a senior director, crossed 7-figure income in his first month. Somebody was telling me today, oh, in this kind of business, only people at the top make money. By the way, Sandip ji made more money than me in this business last month, right? So, people who are delusional that, oh, how is it possible? It is because this is the nature of the business, that anybody who is capable enough will generate the income irrespective of their position. It is just that how dedicatedly you have done, and the way Sandeep ji has worked, you can see his work. In 1 month, the kind of deliverance he has given, the number of people he has reached out and helped out, and the people who are using. Today, I just had a call with somebody whom I gave this product 6 months back, a complete stranger, and he was referred by somebody to me. I have not even seen him, and he had gone through 30 surgeries in his life and two times kidney transplant, and he started using Healy, and he messaged me all of a sudden that it has been working wonderful. I have some questions. When can I call you? I immediately brought him on Zoom. I have recorded his the session, one-to-one session, which I had with him. And I'm going to share a video clip from that session. And I have also invited him for our testimony night, that come and share, because there are a lot of people who have kidney issues, but they hesitate, they doubt. And this guy who has gone through 30 surgeries, this gentleman was so grateful that his friend recommended, who's like his brother, recommended this Healy, to him just 6 months back. And today he is completely happy and transformed. So this is the kind of service which we do. Now, people who have doubt, or who, it is all karma. No, if we are not ready, we will not receive it. It's very simple. So Healy reaches you when you are ready, and if you are not ready, it will not reach you no matter what. So thank you so much once again, Sandip ji, for giving us this session. Thank you so much, Ivan, for hosting the show, and thank you, Leena ji, for all the updates. See you all tomorrow at 9:30 for the goal setting training. Bye-bye. Take care. Good
And
night.
thank you, Pragya, for attracting this gem into our business. Thank
Yes.
you.
Yes, it was Pragya ji, who was consistently following. Maybe Sandeep sir signed up because it was dash matching. Right? Come again, Yuan. You were saying something.
I'm surprised they're not related. I thought they were.
Okay.
They-
No. So,
But we stay, I mean, the place where I stay in Bhubaneswar, Sandeep ji also stays quite nearby, which I got to know after I got connected with him.
Amazing.
you were
So much.
closer all the time, but you never recognized that you're going to work together someday. So thank you so much, Pragya ji. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Gratitude.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.